Well, hello again. It's been a while. Welcome back to another Fierce Moment. My name is Janelle Washington, and I just want to say it's good to see you guys. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while, and I do miss recording. So we are back, and hopefully, you guys are tuning in. You guys are staying connected, right? We love to hear from you. Okay, so let's get into it. So, we're going to come from Esther. I love Esther, right? I spoke about her before, like a week ago, and so I'm going to give you a synopsis, right? Esther was a Jewish woman who became queen because the queen before her, Queen Vashti, was sent away because Queen Vashti decided not to show up at her husband's party naked and only wearing the crown, right? I said that he was set tripping, but king's a king. Whatever he rules in his favor will happen, okay? The decree will happen, right? So she becomes queen. She has to go through a process of cleansing her body, putting oils on, right? And just being how to become a proper queen of royalty, right? In the midst of that, the queen sees favor in her, right? And all of a sudden, her uncle, who was Mordecai, decides to come and who helped her become queen, right? And told her, you should, but don't hide your culture. Hide the fact that you are a Jew, right? Just be like them, right? So during her time of consecration I think that's the word, right? Of being, what's the word? Being becoming a queen, right? She had to hide who she was, her culture, right? How she spoke. This is what my imagination is. How she spoke, her culture, how she would do things, right? How she would say things, right? She had to watch all that and change it so that she could become queen, right? And particularly fool them so she could become queen, right? So fast forward, Mordecai offends one of the king's people, Haman, and Haman gets so upset that he makes a decree about killing all the Jewish people. In a nutshell, right? Please go back and read for yourself because Esther is a short book and it's a powerful book, all right? So go back and do your reading. So Mordecai hears of this and starts mourning with the other Jewish people, right? So Esther hears about him mourning in the streets, wearing sackcloth, right, next to the gates, the royal gates. And she's like, yo, cut it out. Don't do that. And he was like, just because, you are queen, don't mean that, eventually they'll find you out. Okay, eventually they'll know that you are a Jew like us. And then what will happen? Just because you're a queen, you're not protected all the way. So in my process, she's like, oh snap, you're right. Let's go back and you know what? You're gonna fast and tell everybody else around you who's mourning to fast for 3 days, nothing in. Okay, we're going to fast and we're going to pray. All right, and I'm going to do that with my court as well. So they fasted for 3 days, right? So I am going to read this part. So on the third day, Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the palace in front of the king's hall. The king was sitting on the royal throne in a hall facing the entrance. When he saw Queen Esther, standing there looking good, right? How many ladies, we know what that is, right? We put on our clothes and we know when we're looking good because she knew. All right, let's continue. He was pleased with her and held out to her the golden scepter that was in the hand. So Esther approached and touched the tip of the scepter. Then the king asked, what is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even upon half my kingdom, it will be given to you. And I want to stop right there because you're going to go back and you're going to read the whole thing. You're going to find out that Queen Esther, through God's provision and help and direction, she ends up saving the Jewish nation, right? But here, where I want to go back to where it says he looked at her. Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the palace, and he noticed her, okay? And there was probably a lot of people in there, okay? Kings are never alone, really, right? So I took it as, right? The Lord started speaking to me and saying, you know what? A lot of times us as women, we become wives, we become moms, we become what society wants us to be, right? And we forget what God called us to be. So we, like Esther, take off the calling, or we minimize the calling, or we minimize who we are to fit to fit what the world wants us to be, or to fit the role that we have, the role that God gave us to have, right? But he started to reveal to me that I called you into this role, which means I ordained you and I called you, and you still have the calling inside of you. You don't need to minimize and depreciate or try to hide who you are. Who are you? You're the daughter of the Most High, right? You are a son of God, right? I mean son as both men and women, right? But you are, one of the elect ones. You are who God says you are. We as women don't have to put down who God called us to be to try to fit in the box of what the world thinks we should, right? There is a fad going around right now, or of the traditional wife, and I'm not going to say who, but I do follow her. Are a lot of women around that are being homemakers, which is awesome. I love being a homemaker, right? But it shows only one side. And I was speaking to Apostle Angelica, who was saying, maybe they're not taping the fact that they have a whole crew to help them clean up. They have a whole crew to help them produce this video, right? Especially when they become, have millions of subscribers and followers, right? They're not showing the backdrop of what it took to produce this video. So why am I saying that? Good question. I'm saying this because we should not have to sacrifice the calling for the position, right? We should not have to, if God called us into a role, he's going to make sure that you are able to operate fully in how he wants you to operate. He's going to make sure that he is going to provide the way so that you don't have to minimize who he called you to be just to succeed in that role, right? I know as a kid, I made myself feel small so I can fit in and crouch down to fit in with all my friends who were smaller than me. No, and I know that's, old news, but I love being tall. It took me a while to realize God made you tall for a reason, not just to, tower over my sister or to help things get off the shelf, but he made you tall for a reason. And I should be glad in it and how he made me. So, fierce lady, fierce woman, girl, I want you to, yes, operate fully in the extent of how God wants you to operate, right? How he called you, how he wants you to speak, how he wants you to act, how he wants you to, all the things, how to pray. Don't be like anybody else, okay? Operate in the calling and operate in the role that he called you to, because I'm telling you, it's going to be good. This year, it's going to be good. This year, we're going to operate fully. We're not going to hide any part of us to try to fit in. Oh no, God calls us to stand out. Matter of fact, he don't even want you to fit into the world's mold. He wants you to stand out and shine your light as bright as you can. So I want to say thank you for watching and thank you for listening. And I also want to let you know that we have a couple of things coming up. Hold on right here. On March 27th, okay, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay, that's my time, we have another bonnet meeting. And if you haven't joined, you're missing out. You need to come. You need to register. You need to participate. You need to put on your bonnet. I'm going to have my bonnet in my robe on, okay? And we're going to have a good time, all right? Grab us some tea, get yourself a snack, okay? This topic is about God said, that's my husband, but he's spoken for, right? Not just he's out in a different relationship, but what do you do when God says somebody's your husband and they're not ready to be a husband, right? What do you do then? I don't know. Come to the body deal, register. Okay, you need to register on the website, www.fiercetakeover.org, and register, please. Okay, and while we're on there, register for the Fierce Hunt. That is every Wednesday at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even if it's like 3 o'clock your time, still get on, still join the hunt, still partner with us, join the community, okay? And join the hunt. We are praying, okay? Don't forget to send in your prayer requests. Don't forget to send in your thoughts. We will definitely be active in answering anything that you have, and definitely praying and coming alongside of you and believing in God what you are praying for and putting on the altar in this season. Join the community on join the Fierce community on Facebook and Fierce Takeover on YouTube. Also, I want to, yes, join the community. Talk about what's coming up next. We have Trailblazers, Blaze and Legacy that we partner with for the kids. My kids will be there. Hopefully, Mashari's kids will be there. And we have these three little ones headlining. And as you see, they are not adults, they are kids loving and operating in their calling, fully hearing the Lord, and they want to encourage your children. This is for creatives, this is for your arts, this is for anything that you do in the kingdom that has to do with the arts. Come in. And don't forget, all right, it's not just for the kids. We have Trailblazers, the Ascent gathering as well during the same time, July 10th through the 12th in Charlotte, North Carolina. So go to the website right there, kingdomlifetrailblazers.com, and register your spot today. You do not want to miss this, especially if you're creative. All right. I want to thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to register for the bonnet meeting, all right, at fiercetakeover.com. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.